Man, it's been a long time since I've been on a podcast. I haven't been hiding from y'all. I just been, working. Uh, just working a lot. Just, I still watch sports when I can. Just I work like crazy. But I'm back. I'm back. Like I never left. So what's going on? What's going on, Kyle?
Not much, man. I'm good. I've been doing as much as I can in terms of my channel and everything. I mean, my squad just won the title, so yeah, still celebrating that. Well, you don't know how that goes, but you know, I'll definitely still riding the high from that. Um, yeah, that's about it. I'm just blessed, So, Jory, uh, yeah,
Damn,
I
she ain't
can't
gonna say
complain.
hi. I mean, she can say hi to me. I mean, I see how it is.
I don't know what to tell you on that one, buddy.
I see how it goes, Jory. But hi, Jory. By the way, I see you in the
I got
comments.
nothing for you on that one, buddy.
Mm. So now you say something when I say what's up. Let me drop the.
I mean, I'm sure you're. Well, look, I'm just gonna say this while you're doing your thing,
Yeah, I'm gonna share my stuff out right now. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like it's interesting, kind of what's going on in terms of like the sports landscape. In that, I mean, the NBA season, even though a lot of people said the finals were boring, but the off season's been anything but, which I'm sure we'll get into. And it's like it's made the period of time between like this Super Bowl and the start of the NFL season, it's made it like a lot easier to deal with. In that, like I said, the NBA off season, you also have like WNBA stuff, which I guess we're supposed to thank Caitlin Clark that more people are tuning in. That's what we're supposed to say. But a lot of people are invested in that. I know for me, I've been like watching a lot of soccer as well, which I know to a lot of people is boring and everything, but I grew up on that sport, so I definitely love watching that. So there's been a lot going on, a lot that's kept me interested. I'm still ready for the NFL season. Don't get me wrong. The fact that we're in July now, that just means we're a month away from preseason. I'm ready for it.
No, yeah, I'm definitely ready for it. I mean, plus we're like almost we're touching like the MLB All Star weekend coming up, so got some baseball going on still. Still early in the season. Um, I know my Yankees are they're kind of up and down right now, but we still hold that. We
They're
still
down.
hold a.
Don't say
I
up
mean,
and down. They're
I mean,
down.
we still hold a winning record. I mean, it's look, but like I said, it's about to be All Star break for the MLB All Star weekend. Play like a little reset, a little, be with the family, have some fun, hit some home runs. Um, but yeah, what's good? What's good, my boy E Breezy? That's one of my 2K guys. Yankees are killing it. I'm a Yankee fan as well. Yes, sir. You already know I'm a Yankees fan. Traveling with me, brother. Um, but yeah, it's good to have you in the chat, E Breezy. We're gonna be talking about NBA, NFL a little bit. I mean, I guess we'll go into NFL first and then touch a little. Yeah, we'll do NFL first and then just dive into the NBA, which is the kind of meat of the show. And then we'll kind of like sprinkle a little bit of baseball in there. Our both teams are kind of like winning right now, and trying to
My
catch up on our
team's winning. My
trying to
team.
catch up, like, trying to catch up on the
Yours is
team.
slumping. Okay, yours is slumping.
But
Just call it like it is.
yeah. So like, first of all, like, how you been, man? How you been, man? I know we haven't done the show. It's just like maybe at the beginning of the year. So, like, how have you been,
I'm good.
man?
I'm good. I'm ready. I'm ready to talk NFL.
Oh yeah, I heard that. I think it's I think they're doing the whole AFC North. It's gonna be really interesting for the first time. We're gonna Ravens, Steelers, Browns, Bengals. It's gonna be interesting to see like how they do a deep dive on the Bengals and how they cover them because Burrow had that that wrist injury that that was very. I mean, obviously it was an injury, but it was kind of like suspicious of how they kept it on the wraps. Then I think they played us, and then he played like the first 2 quarters, and then he got benched because I guess they showed clips of him on the sideline kind of practicing warming up and he couldn't throw and like they didn't disclose that before the game started. So it's interesting to see how they do that, cover that, how they cover their Ravens. It's gonna be interesting. So it's the Ravens, AC North. Who else is on there? Giants.
Well, I know Breezy's talking about Hard Knocks.
Yeah, Hard Knocks. Yeah, it's Ravens.
Giants.
Yeah, Ravens.
They're
covering the whole AC North.
That might be something else. Hard Knocks, they usually do like one team like preseason, and then they'll do one team like the midseason one, which is like the new thing now. I do remember the Giants were picked, and I'm like, I guess like you want to see the inner workings of Daniel Jones struggling to find it.
Yeah, we're on Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks in season with AFC North. For the first time since its debut, we're coming to Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks goes behind the scenes of the NFL.
I completely missed that. I did not know they were doing a whole division.
Yeah, Hard Knocks in season with the AFC North premieres December 3rd on Max, HBO Max. So.
Okay, that's interesting. I mean, it is a division that has a lot of storylines with it. I mean, even the Steelers, the Mike Tomlin aspect of it. He got his new contract. I guess that would be cool to see, what's going on there. Cincinnati, like you said, Burrow coming back. Cleveland.
And then the whole Russell Wilson and then to the Steelers
Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. That's gonna be interesting to see how those two interact. Cleveland with, Watson, Chubb coming back from injury. A lot of things going on there. And for your Ravens, is this the season for them? They've had a lot of hype the past couple of years. They got to pay it off when you get to January and February. Can they do that this year? So, yeah. I mean, I'm not mad at them picking that division if that's what they did. So that's fine.
Yeah, as far as like the podcasting goes, I'm definitely gonna be more consistent because I want to like do like our annual NFL like early season like division picks and stuff like that because I want to like get into that. And I know, like the NFL content started kicking, like you said, August is preseason. I know we're in the phase of like mandatory minicamp and OTAs and all like that. So that's wrapping up. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for the NFL season, man. I mean, I know you've been talking about the college football game coming out in a couple of weeks. A couple days after my birthday. I can't wait. Apparently, like I don't know if there's like just like fake posts or something like that, but apparently like they did. I don't know if it's Road to the Show or not Road to the Show. I mean, Road to Glory or the Dynasty mode. Like you can actually like text like the social media. I don't know if that's like actually like real or like the whole like, social media.
That is an actual thing.
Like you can call like their like if you want to recruit, you can like call their family.
Yeah. So basically. As part of the recruiting process, you can like check recruit social media to see like how they feel about you. You can send them messages because I mean that's how it's done with college kids now. So like EA catches a lot of crap for some of the decisions that they've made and stuff like that with games. But with this being away 10, 11 years, the deep dive that they've done so far, no reason to not be optimistic of what this college football game is going to look like. I think the only drawback will be the cross-play dynasty stuff not being there online. But we saw that with Madden. Like they didn't come out with it right away. They brought it on later after launch. I'm hoping that's the plan with college football 25. Because if so, that's going to be a major game changer in terms of like sports video games, because the amount of people that are ready for this game to come out, it's gonna be wild.
I've been waiting for it, man. I've been waiting for it. I know me and my cousin we do the share play or game share, so like we split the game. But I'm not sure. Are you gonna get the single game, or are you gonna get the deluxe with it comes with the game and then the Madden 25?
I'll
The
probably just do the college football one.
Yeah, just do that.
I mean, I'm encouraged by Madden, but yeah, I would never get both of them at the same time. I'll wait for Madden to come out and then just do it that way.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these games have. I know E-Breeze, if you're still on here, we do 2K. We try to do the program and everything, and a lot of gamers have been complaining about like how like lackluster like 2K has been as far as like it's either like my career. It's like, oh, we want less cutscenes and more gameplay. Okay, so in 24 they cut out the cutscenes and it was more play. Now people say, oh, the my career is not in depth anymore as it used to be, which I like. I used to love the my career like storyline, like going through the high school years, going to the college. But they kind of cut that out. I don't know why they took that out. To get that, because obviously they're not going to be number one picks. I'm not going to go and get picked with Wimbiana ever in the NBA draft. They're never going to share that one draft spot. So just the fact that I feel like in the NBA you gotta earn your stripes. So I feel like just hopping to a game into the NBA because I know in 24 you can like create your player and pick whatever team you want to go to.
I hate that.
Yeah, me too. I mean, but I don't mind because you you can get right into gameplay. But I like that whole experience of like going to the high school, going to college, and kind of like grading and going to the draft combine and everything. I like that experience.
But even if they don't want to do the high school part, if you just do the combine part of it, then just let us do the draft process. I didn't understand why you did the combine and then picked what team you played for. That didn't make any sense to me.
Or didn't they do like in the last college football game, or was it like Madden and facing the franchise when I think it was one of the Maddens where you started like in like the college football playoffs, and then like, you kind of like, or it was high school, and then like for like 1 or 2 games, and then
you went to college football.
Went to like college football, kind of like that little. You don't play the whole season, but I think that with the whole Madden, the college football, it's gonna merge. I think if I'm not wrong, I think when you do Road to the Glory, that player should transform to Madden 25. It doesn't.
No.
It should.
They explained why, and it makes sense because the fact that you are paying the college kids to be in college football, they're not a part of like the NFL PA or anything. So bringing the players over into Madden, it's like some.
No, what I'm saying, like you're
I know what you're saying.
You're creative player.
Yeah, I think because of that, I don't think that's going to be part of the package with college football. I think I feel like I haven't heard that mentioned yet. I don't know. Or maybe you can do that. It's just you can't do the.
I mean, why would they like make a bundle of Madden?
You know what? I'm probably wrong. It's probably the import draft class part you can't do.
Yeah, I gotta look into that because like, why would they combine like the 2 deluxe with the college, and if you can't really transfer your pro into like or like your college athlete into like the.
I mean, there's a reason. There's a reason beyond that. I think for EA, they're looking at Madden as kind of a franchise that's dying a little bit. So by bundling it with college football, which is the franchise that everybody's like anticipating, they're expecting to get more sales on Madden as well. That's part of it. Because you play Madden. A lot of Madden people are down on Madden, and they have been down for like a few years. And EA knows that. So that's why they're trying to do it that way. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, and then also with the whole, I think my issue with like 2K, I don't know if E-Breezy's still in here, but like our team, I mean, we are a worker because I'm the owner of my prime team and everything, and I'm trying to recruit people to my team to play, and like, and I mean, I don't really care about winning or losing in 2K24 because I want to get players and now that are like consistent, and so we can go to the new game because I don't want to go. I don't want to go with like I don't want to go with any randoms. Like into the game with randoms. So wait, is that do you know a sports show or that somebody know or?
I'm not sure. The sports show. I don't know.
That might be one of my guys, maybe. I think maybe. But cheers, man. How you doing, brother?
What's going on?
But I think Art, if Breezy's still in here, he can attest to this. Like, it's just they match us with, especially in the Pro-Am too, because Pro-Am, like, that's where people like they play tournaments and they get serious, and the 2K leagues do that, and like the matchmaking is just ass. Like, I'm sorry, it's butt because like really like you could be a 90 overall black. There's like black, which is like the casual, brown, silver, hooper, and then like the MVP, the purple, and like they would match, like especially doing the random rec. First of all, you are in there with. First of all, if you're a 90, you're in there with like 60 overalls, 76 overalls on your team, and then you play against like gold tiers and purple tiers. So I feel like 2K needs to like have a matchmaking. I don't know. They had to do better with matchmaking. It's not fair. I feel like I think in one of the 2Ks, I think it was like you had to be a certain overall to like make it out. Like they locked you into like the courts, and like you have to be a certain overall to like go to the city. I think that was the first game they actually introduced the city. I think it was like 2022. I think where you actually had to like ball and like you had to actually get to a 90 or overall to like actually get into to explore the city. I feel like there should be like, I mean, I know they had the event in boot camp, which is like sets like 75 overall or lower modes where you can play that. But if it's not fair, like why would I want to play with because obviously, like you said, the reason why you don't want to play the game because you don't want to spend the money to upgrade your player. But obviously, we're in a day and age where it's like microtransactions, and what is an issue? Like you should have to pay X amount of dollars real money to get your player up. But obviously, you want to like. I've been playing 2K my whole 2K career, and like when you're like comparing a 60 overall or a 75 overall to a 95, you play different. You play quicker. You play stronger. It's just like you feel faster. But why would I want to play with a dude that's 76 overall when I'm a 93, 92, about to be a hooper, like an MVP gold level? It's just at a whack. But I think that's the only thing that turned me off. Like if they can get the whole like matchmaking better, as far as like playing everyone on and I think he was playing with me one game in the Pro-Am. We were like 4-2 or whatever. We faced the 14th or 44th overall Pro-Am team. Like, why? We are the lowest tier. Why we're like what I think bronze tier? Like that was like a diamond level tier. Why would you put us against like one of the globally ranked teams in the world? Like, I don't get it. I thought Pro-Am was you're supposed to play people in your tier, and then as you move up and get better, you go to the gold and silver tiers. So it's like in the jump shots, like the latency. Why is the latency so different from my career than the theater, than the park, than the rec, than the Pro-Am? Like that's why people can't shoot because they switch from different modes. So if there's some way that they can like kind of like mingle with the latencies and make it kind of even to shoot in 2K, it's not that hard. I mean, all you have to do is like get your hot zones, go to the Chris Matthews shooting workouts, the artist shooting, to get your hot zones. But it's like the latency is just like, I mean, literally, I played a rec game, and in the rec, I ran like random recs, and I think I missed one shot in the three, and I had shot like 86% from the three. But like it's like inconsistent. Like I'm always shooting like cold, I'm shooting hot. Then the Pro-Am just like it feels a lot faster than the rec. So it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I mean, I'm gonna get 2K because I'm a 2K fan, but it's like those are the two things that I need for them to change: the matchmaking, and then just the latency of shooting, and the whole Wi-Fi issue. Like, sometimes I lag in the rec, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't lag at all, and then some nights I just lag like I'm freaking about to have a storm near my house. Like it's crazy, man. But I mean, I don't know why people are getting the game like now. I've been seeing like 60 overalls now. Like what's the point of getting the game? Like then you're mess up the servers. So I don't know,
some
man.
of them, some of them are probably waiting later in the cycle of the game because they probably got it for free, so they just probably want to try it and use it as an opportunity so that when the new game does come out, they're like, oh, okay, I like it, or I don't. I'm going to buy the next one, or I'll just be whatever. I mean, look, you touched on, because I mean, we've talked about this before. Like, I am a big sports gamer, but I always say 2K is the sports franchise that is like the worst to me. It's the one that if I miss it,
and it shouldn't be. It should be the most funnest game.
I mean, I guess technically, but it's just like if I miss it, I'm like, so what? And I know I see Breezy put like there was the Rookieville where you like ranked up and then you got to see the city. So if you're gonna have your city, then have the city have like portions of it where if you're like new to it, you know where to go to play other people who are kind of the same boat as you. Because like for me, like you said, if I get it, if I create a character,
I would destroy you. Like if you were if you were to play the game and get to like a 75 or 80 because people like, I mean, maybe I should start, especially being the owner of a team, I should start, because sometimes if I'm like in a random rec game and I'm like, all right, well, I'm a 90, 92, about to be a whatever, 93, and I say 70, I'm hopping out. I'm hopping out the lobby. Like I thought I should start being more pickier with who I play with. You can be a good build and a good player, but if your overall is low, like people don't want to play with you. Like people don't want to play with you, bro. Like, I mean, obviously, if you're my friend and I know you're like working on your game, working on your want to get good, then I'll play with you. But like, if you're at 75, still have 2K shoes on, bro, I don't want to play with you. Like, and I'm not trying to be funny because like people be having the brown shirts and 2K shoes. Like, bro, get some money, get some OVO gear, get some gear on you, man. Like, people just don't care, and that's why people get mad. And then on my team I'm in like a 2K League Finder thingy on Discord, and like I kind of look for players, and like the one thing I ask them, like I DM them, I tell them, hey, like, are you going to be consistent on the game? Are you active? Because like some people are not active on the game, or they're not consistent. They will play with you for 1 or 2 games and then decide to quit. I mean, the pro-am teams that play together that are like Chalk, like I used to watch them heavy. I still do. Those are his boys. They play a lot. They play every day consistently. So I mean, I get it. It's tough. It's hard to play with people you don't know. But I don't know. I feel like the game is just like, I don't know. There's a lot of young kids that are on the game that come from school. They want to get on the game. Almost dinner time. They're playing the game before dinner time, bedtime. I get that. And then they got the old heads that think they know what they got. The old heads like that talk you out like, yo, what you doing, man? You don't got no job.
That is a problem. The 2K community, they act like it is life and death with these 2K games. And it's like, calm down. It's just a video game. And then it's also the people who will play with a team. And it's just like, I'm the MVP, so I'm going to take every shot. I don't get it, but it is what it is. I don't know.
I mean, and then plus, people want to be like Curry, or people want to be, people want to take the shots and be cocky and take all the shots and miss all the shots. And like, basketball's a team game, bro. Like, I mean, the chemistry will get there. The chemistry will be there as of playing together, practicing together. But I'm in a Discord where I'm my own team Discord, and I'm like, yo, I'll be getting at 10 because I'm on the East Coast. I got people on the West Coast, and so it's kind of hard in Central Time in like Texas or something like that. And I have people from this part of the country, and I'm like, okay, well, I even put a poll in my Discord, like, yo, like, what time is everyone getting on? 9 p.m., 9:30. 9:30 comes around, we can't make it a full 5 in the rec. And I want in Pro-Am, the way the Pro-Am works, you have to have 5 people in the gym at one time to play to start a game. So if people can't prove to me that they can meet at a certain time in the rec, it's squad up at 9:30 when they say they're gonna get on, that's a problem. So some people aren't consistent, some people are just lackadaisical, they just don't communicate. So but yeah, 2K was at its peak in 15, I think. Yeah, I mean, or six, I would say 15 or 16 was at the peak, for sure for 2K. But yeah, I mean, I think that and then like another thing that I learned that from 2K is there's Prime builds, there's park builds, and there's rec builds. Like, why would you bring your park build into the rec or Prime when one you don't have free throw, like you don't put a free throw on your, and free throw is like free attributes, and when you make your player, like it doesn't really cost much for free throw. And that's why I put 99 on my free throw, like 99 to get you like the Hall of Fame free points. Like that's you'll make any free throw, and that's free. It really is free points. It doesn't really tech on anything. But I don't get why some players just bring out their park builds or just like I make a bill for park, I make a bill for Pro-Am, and I make a bill for like rec and just random runs. Like I people just want to just like mess everything up. I don't get it, man. But hopefully like 2K25 is better. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait till college football comes out. That's gonna be fun. But yeah, let's get into I guess let's get into the NBA. I know Jory's probably getting tired of us talking about video games, so she was like, "What is your thoughts on the NBA offense so far?" Kyle, you can go first on that.
So yeah, with the off season, I feel like a bunch of teams kind of improved themselves. We're definitely seeing a lot of teams looking at the Celtics model and trying to copy it a little bit, or they're trying to build their teams to compete with the Celtics. So that's why I'm like, the Sixers, I understand what they're doing. They went and got Paul George because with Embiid's time in Philly, they've been trying to find the running mate for him. It was supposed to be Ben Simmons. That didn't work out because we know Ben Simmons is broken. It was supposed to be James Harden, but we kind of know James Harden is not Rockets Harden, not even Thunder Harden. This is some other Harden that kind of disappears the later you get into the season. So luckily they found Tyrese Maxey. You could probably say they got lucky with that one. But now it's with as deep as the Celtics are with their lineup, Philly needed a third star. So they're going with Paul George. Paul George is another guy who has had some injury issues and hasn't necessarily been there later in the season as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. I mean, the Knicks, if you went to Villanova, the Knicks are going to try to get you. I mean, it's a way to go. I do think the Hartenstein loss is going to be a bigger deal than Knicks fans are making it. I get you got Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges can't rebound like Hartenstein did. Hartenstein rebounded a lot of those bricks that Brunson, Hart, DiVincenzo, and Anunoby would throw up there. Hartenstein would crash the board to give them second chance opportunities. If you want to rely on Mitchell Robinson to do that for you, knock yourself out. I mean, E. Breezy's talking about Klay going to the Mavs. I need to see that one. Like, I get the fit because when you're dealing with Kyrie and Luka, you don't need another ball-dominant guy along with those two. And Klay, we know from his time with Golden State, he plays off the ball better than most. At least he did before the injuries. So I get that one. I think it's a slight upgrade, but for Dallas, for them to get back to the finals, it's going to be the development of Lively and Gafford in a full offseason. Can he increase his role a little bit? I feel like those two will have a bigger impact than necessarily Klay would. I'm trying to look at the Suns. What to say about the Suns? Like, they're going to be a hot mess again next year, I think, because I just don't know if Bradley Beal's going to really be healthy once again. Defense will be an issue. I definitely agree with you, Jory. Kyrie's not a perimeter defender. Luka's not, even though they tried to sell us on it this postseason. We saw against the Celtics, both of them struggled on the perimeter. And Klay, because of the injuries, he's just a shell of himself defensively. That's why I'm like, Lively, Gafford, they are going to have a bigger responsibility defensively once those three guys get, blown by on the perimeter. They're going to have to be there to step up to contest shots and everything like that. Let me see who else. Bucks didn't really do much. Cleveland.
I mean, I do like a Hartenstein. I mean, I think Hartenstein going to the Thunder is going to help them out because they got two Twin Towers. That's going to help them out. So it kind of helped out the Thunder in the long run.
I mean, they can play them together. I don't know if they actually will. I think Hartenstein will just come off the bench and give Chet a breather because I feel like their starting lineup is kind of set the way it is.
Who'll be the power forward? Because
I mean, they kind of go small, basically. Like, they'll play, the Williamses with Shea and Lou Dort and all that, and they get by because Chet's there. Now, I do think there will be lineups where Chet and Hartenstein play together. I do think that happens. I just don't think Hartenstein is a starter for them. That might be the closing lineup with those two out there. So, but I agree with you. The Hartenstein to the Thunder makes a lot of sense. I love that move for them. I mean, look, those of you in the chat, if you have a move to bring up, go ahead, because I'm just trying to think of other moves that really caught my eye. I mean, I'm sure eventually you're going to want to talk like your Lakers offseason, because I do want to know how you feel about it, because I do have an opinion on it.
I mean, don't worry, I'll dive into my Lakers later on. Because we're gonna tie that with the Bronny thing, the draft and everything. So
he's like Caitlin Clark, you got to mention him.
But I posted so I don't know if you saw my post, because I posted to like my page and I posted to like other sports pages. That I think that when people had some mixed views of what I said, people would kind of agree with me. But I said that I made a mistake in my post. I thought it was a trade, but it was a signing because he was a free agent. So I kind of edited my post to make people not hate me, because they're like, oh, first of all, you need to get traded. Well, all right. Well, my bad. So he got signed. And I think that
there's some hate for it, man. Embrace it.
I think that I mean, I like what they're doing. They signed Maxey to a 5-year extension. Yes, they signed Paul George, but I think that oh man, I think this signing is kind of a waste signing. But let me explain.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to know. Because I mean, it could be a waste. I want to know why you think
I am not throwing shade on Paul George or Embiid. I mean, I like what they're doing. The reason why I say it's a waste, I mean, first of all, how long did they sign him for? Like 3 years for Paul George?
4 years.
4 years. I just don't like the history of Morey, of how he treats his players. One, they had Harden. They had Butler. They had ample of opportunities and ample of stars to get deep into the playoffs. I know Embiid got hurt. He wasn't really available. 1 point. My second point is no shade to Paul George or Embiid, Cause I mean, I actually like Embiid. I didn't even know he got his USA thing, and he's gonna play for the USA team. And we can dive into that too, like how often is he gonna play for the USA? Because they need to, defense need to, preserve him for the NBA season because we know that he had the meniscus in his knee. So second point, is that last season was the first time I've seen Paul George play like a almost full healthy season. Like you said, Paul George is injury prone. So if Paul George, I mean, and I just said in my post, if both Paul George and Embiid can stay healthy the majority of the season, there will be a above 500 team. We all can agree that Embiid and their playoff hopes, it depends on Embiid and his health. Because without Embiid, there's no team. Embiid's the backbone. Paul George has also been known to be inconsistent in the playoffs. And don't get me wrong, like even Steve Legler, one of the great NBA models, he said that he said the same thing. He said that his inconsistency in the playoffs is when it comes to the big moments, he doesn't take those big shots. And now imagine that without Embiid in the playoffs. Can you count on Paul George to hit a shot? Can you count on him staying healthy? And now that turns to Maxey. Maxey, yes, he's a baller. He's a great ball handler, great shooter. Now I'm just picturing him without the two stars in the lineup. Because like this is the first time like 5 or 6 seasons that Paul George has been healthy. I think on Stat News he said he played like 74 games this season. So and I know he had that terrible, I think, Achilles injury, I think in USA basketball thing a couple years ago that kind of like, slowed him down. But I think that yes, the team, a lot of 76ers fans have been asking other NBA teams, other fans, is like, what was a better option? I mean, obviously they were waiting on it to see if Paul George was going to resign with the Clippers, which he did it. So yes, he was a available free agent. I just think that Embiid had. I mean, same question with AD too. Like I like AD. Obviously, I'm a Lakers fan, but same thing with Embiid. Like he has to prove to me that he can play a full season. I mean, I know like we all seen him Embiid in the playoffs like last season. I knew he was slow getting out with the court. He wasn't the same. And then can you rely on Paul George to hit a big shot in the playoffs? Can you rely on him to be there when needed, when called on? I mean, I don't know their supporting cast. I mean, Tobias Harris, a lot of people hate him, are hitting on him. He's not really
he's gone.
having, he's gone. So
he's in Detroit.
I mean, who do they have? Batum? I mean,
he's gone. Clippers.
Oh, he's gone. All right. So what are their team? Like Kelly Oubre, he's still there?
Yes, they re-signed.
So
Oubre.
I mean, outside of Paul George, Maxey, and Embiid, I mean, which is they calling the next big three in Philadelphia? I mean, who was outside of that? Who was outside? Like, if those two can't be relied on to stay together healthy for a full season, I mean, I don't trust Maxey yet to carry that team. Yes, they trust him because he's a young cop.
They're not asking Maxey to carry that team.
No, they're not. Well, I'm saying if
that
I'm
team
saying
is built on, like you said, it's built on Embiid.
Yeah. No, I'm saying that like if Paul George got hurt, say. I mean, and I don't wish any injury on any person, but God forbid if Embiid got hurt playing USA basketball, right? He might need surgery or he might be sidelined. Yeah, the NBA, the playoffs, the whole draft, the whole turnaround, a quick turnaround, because obviously he can in October. So say he needs surgery or whatever, or he gets hurt in the beginning, because like he's been in the MVP conversation. Boom, then he gets injured.
I mean, he cried for that MVP, but whatever.
But if you
Jordan does bring up a good point though. They did sign Drummond.
Yeah, but he can't shoot.
Yeah, but okay. So if Embiid is out, now this is why they went and got why is his name's escaping me? The coach from Toronto.
Oh, Nick Nurse.
Yes, Nick Nurse. I hated him in Toronto, but whatever. If Embiid is out, then Nick Nurse has to be able to change the flow of the offense, with Drummond, because with Drummond, he has a skill, great at rebounding. So you work around that. You use him in pick and roll. He sets a pick for like a maxi. If there's drop coverage, which like 95% of the league runs, maxi can shoot a three. You're good to go from there. If you do miss it, he'll collect rebounds that way. I mean, yes, I agree with you that the Sixers season relies on Embiid because Embiid is that important to them. But I can't agree with you that Paul George is a wasted pick. I mean, wasted pickup, because Paul George is an upgrade over James Harden. That's what Philadelphia was supposed to do, was to find a running mate that was more reliable. So I feel like saying Paul George is a waste is almost, I feel, and look, I know you said it's not supposed to be disrespectful to Paul George, but it literally is disrespectful to say Paul George is waste, because he played 74 games last season.
No. Like, I'm not saying like it's a waste because he's a bad player. I'm saying like you said, the consistency of like playing and like.
Yeah, but he played 74 games.
I mean, he has an injury history. Like, like when's the last time, like, when they in LA, when he first got there,
so
like when he first got there, right?
LA was right after the foot injury at USA basketball.
Kawhi, and then the Kawhi injury, right. And then all that.
I know that was an injury riddled tenure with the Clippers, which is why he probably moved on to try something new. But when he was in Indiana, and he was balling in Indiana, he had some moments against
Paul. That was the prime. That was the prime Paul George.
Yeah, so he's not necessarily an injury prone guy. He just had one freak injury that he's kind of been struggling the past couple of years staying healthy because of it. Because before that, he was consistently playing 75, 79 games a season. Like, that's who he was. And I feel like now that he's in Philly, you're not dealing with a Kawhi Leonard Kawhi Leonard played a lot of games last year until he didn't. And then once he was out, he was just gone. And we already know with James Harden, when you put more on James Harden at this point, he shuts it down. He is not about that life. James Harden is trying to find an easy path to a ring. That's what he was hoping in Philly. He didn't get it. He was hoping for that in Brooklyn. And when Kyrie had his stuff, who was the first one to jump off that bandwagon? James Harden. So for Philly, yes, if Embiid gets hurt, your season's probably cooked.
They're done.
But I would quickly believe in Maxey and Paul George figuring out over Maxey and James Harden. Like with James Harden, if Embiid gets hurt and you have James Harden, you might as well just cancel the season because James Harden's not going to step up. I think Paul George could. And even in your scenario, if Paul George and Embiid had to miss a couple of games, I feel like with Nick Nurse, they would be able to win a couple of games with Maxey until they get back. If both of them are out for the whole season, yes, any team I can say that for. I can say for any team, like if you take their top two guys out, how would their season look? Not many teams in the league are built for that to happen.
And maybe they want. I mean, not maybe, but I mean, is it possibly that they signed Paul George? Because I mean, if you think about like the East, it's kind of like, I mean, other than the Celtics, I mean, Knicks are kind of up there, but can you say that the Eastern Conference is kind of weak outside the Celtics? I mean, a lot of shakeups. I mean, there's the Cavs. I mean, they found Donovan. They get the Heat, elite contenders. I mean, outside the Celtics, so this is
conference narrative was
76ers
kind of weak to begin with.
But I'm saying like maybe they wanted to get Paul George because they think that maybe Paul George signing him to a deal to a 4-year deal or a 3-year deal, to the 76ers will kind of put them over the hurdle and kind of get them past the Celtics. But right now, like at the top of the hill, it's the Celtics right now. I am not a Knicks fan, but I was rooting for them to beat the Pacers in Game 7 because I would love, because I'm in Jersey, so like I would love to see New York go crazy. But I mean, because they really haven't had that for a while, that enjoyment. But I mean, Brunson went down, and then they played Anunoby for a couple games, and then maybe part of the first quarter, and he didn't even play because of the groin and
Because he
hamstring.
clearly shouldn't have played.
He shouldn't have played.
They pushed him out there, and yeah, I agree with Jory. Because there's parity doesn't make it weak. I mean, yes, the Celtics were like.
I mean, but we can all say that I think the Western Conference is more heavily.
Is it though?
The Nuggets. You have the Mavs still there. Mavs. I mean, it's got Klay. I mean, I kind of see how like the NFL is like how a couple years ago, like how like the divisions or conferences they kind of flip flop. Now we say the AFC is better than the NFC because there's more talent. I mean,
I think the Western Conference, that was just a narrative that people ran with. Because look at it.
I think the only thing in the East is the Celtics.
Okay, so
that's the only team.
So play the game here. The Thunder won the West. Were you expecting that when the season started? No, because they were unproven. You expected them to be better.
Wait. You let me finish.
Number one.
You let me. Was that a hypothetical question? Was that like a rhetorical question?
Go ahead.
I didn't even. You said no. I didn't even get a chance to answer.
Go ahead.
So you said that. So the question was, if you expected the Thunder to be there?
The Thunder won the West. Were you expecting that when the season started?
Is it going to be them or the Nuggets? Because I think that they were young. SGA was hungry. I know Chet. A lot of people. Because I know he got injured, and people were waiting on him to play and come back. They're young, man. I mean, Scott or Presti he's a wonderful owner. I know LeBron and other highly credible players have praised Presti for. I mean, they have capital. I mean, yeah. Now him and other stars have mentioned Presti's ability to have capital and draft these players. I was expecting. I mean, obviously, every NBA fan should expect the reigning champions to be the number one contender in the West. But they were up there like 1 and 2 and 3.
Yes, Denver won the title. You obviously expect them to be good.
Yeah, so I was expecting Denver to do it to get it. But
I understand that.
Thunder was right behind them.
Minnesota. Did you expect Minnesota? No.
No, because I don't like
people
the way
were dogging Minnesota the year before.
I mean, I like Anthony Edwards. I like Cat, but I just didn't think that Gobert Cat would work out.
Okay, so all right, so let's keep it moving here. Were you expecting the Mavs to make a finals run?
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, I was. I was. Not to go deep.
You and Mavs fans are probably the only one who really thought they were going to be a finals team.
I really thought they were going to get to the AFC or not AFC, the Western Conference Finals, and then that's it. I wasn't expecting a finals run. Because you got one of the best ball handlers in the world in Kyrie, and you got one of the best closers in Luka. Is this their supporting cast?
I mean, I guess if this is and one, ball handling is that important. I mean, look, Kyrie has ball handling, sure, but what we see in the finals?
I mean, he can play make. Well, in the finals, it's a different story, but you still like. Aside from that, you have one of the best playmakers of all, not of all time, but of today's generation of today's league. You have one of the best. People come to see Kyrie because he's box office.
Yeah. I guess I would.
But yeah, he didn't show up in the playoffs or in the finals. He didn't show up. Luka had to. I mean, I like Lively.
What he normally does is try to carry them. Yes, that's
what injured though. Luka was 100% though. That he wasn't. You can tell.
Okay, so Luka was so hurt that he was wrapping his ribs and everything. I just saw clips of Slovenia or whatever. Luka's out there balling. And this is a couple of weeks after the season. So how hurt was he really if he's out there now balling for his country? Not saying that he shouldn't, because that's obviously for a lot of players, that's a big deal. But
are they getting ready for the Olympics? Isn't he playing for like what, Slovenia or something like that?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, the way they were talking about these injuries, I was expecting Luka to have some surgery or something.
But you can tell he was like, he wasn't 100%.
When
The way he was moving,
he looks 75%. He's a big body guy who he's not the most athletic guy. I know a lot of people threw out the clips from the bubble and everything when he looked like much quicker and everything like that, but that's not normally what Luka looks like. Now, if they show up in October and that Luka walks through the door from the bubble, okay, maybe Dallas has something going. Because I do think a lot of teams are going to try to copy what the Celtics did with the Mavs next season. We'll see whether or not they can, adjust to it. Okay, so another team I'll throw at you, because for the most part, a lot of people were looking at Phoenix as a title contender once they got that big three together.
I didn't.
And look where they finished.
I didn't. But like, where they finished? Like 7, 6, 8.
They were
because Bill's always in that lineup. Booker.
I was trying to think who they lost to in the first round. They lost to They lose to Timberwolves. Then the Timberwolves sweep them or something. The Western playoffs are like a blur right now. But like either way,
of course, so you're on a championship high right now. You don't know. You don't care.
I mean, because when it came to Phoenix, I never bought into.
I do want to, but you're not the hope too, Kyle. I mean, like you're not the hope too about your team. So I want to see how you think about the Tatum contract and all that. So.
I mean, yeah, we can get into that, but
we'll get into that. But I know we have a couple questions too in the chat we can answer too.
Okay, thank you, Jory. They were swept by Minnesota. So I think with the West, like Jory also said a little earlier, the West had names: LeBron, AD, SGA, Jokic, Luka, Kyrie, KD, Booker, Beal, all these guys that I feel like that's what people
Jokic,
in the West.
Oh, you say Murray?
Yeah. When you looked at the East, it was Tatum, Brown, Mitchell, Giannis, Butler, and then you're trailing off.
And then you got Halliburton.
Who was checking for Halliburton before the season? He was just a dude in Indy that was kind of cute, Oh, he can pass the ball. He has a weird shot. That's what people knew about Halliburton. Halliburton kind of made his name with the in-season tournament and stuff like that. So looking at the two sides of it, the West had the bigger name, so people were like, oh, the West is better. But when you look at the West, there's a lot of questionable teams that finished higher than they probably were expected to. That's why I asked you about the Thunder and the Wolves. People thought the Thunder were going to be better because they liked the direction of the team, but not number one in the West better. People, clowned Minnesota for the season before. They turned around and surprised everybody because remember, Minnesota got off to a really good start, and people were like, "Oh, when are the wheels going to fall off?" Because they didn't believe in them.
Right.
The Lakers, we know it's LeBron, so everybody picks LeBron and his team to do really well. And it was a lot of the Phoenix talk because it's like you have KD, Booker, and Beal. How could that fail? Even though Frank Vogel tried to let you know, I need a point guard. They ended up firing him because he couldn't make it work with Bradley Beal, who's not a point guard. What a shock. And then after that, it was like maybe the Mavs, maybe the Pelicans. So I don't buy into the whole West being that much better. Even going into next season, like I'm not going to sit here and say the East is weak. The East is going to be competitive, maybe after Boston. But could you tell me right now who's going to finish second in the East right now?
I mean, probably maybe. I see when Giannis is coming back, maybe Milwaukee.
Right. And the fact that it could be Milwaukee, could be the Knicks, it could be Cleveland, it could be like a few other teams. I think it's a deep conference, and Orlando is slowly on the rise. I mean, there are
they got Caldwell Pope. That's a good pickup.
Yeah, I love that pick for them.
I don't know why Denver let him go.
Denver had money issues. Denver's up against the second apron already. That's the problem that's happening in Denver.
So are they going to be able to extend Jokic? I mean, I guess they would have to. They have no choice but to extend him. Or how are they going to do that? I mean, they got to let people go.
Denver's going to ride with Jokic and Murray. Then the pieces around that, they'll try to make it work. I mean, looking at how a lot of role players and like supplementary parts are getting paid. If Porter Jr. makes it to the free market, he'll probably get some crazy deal, and Denver's going to have to make a decision on him as well. Because this is an era where it's like you have a duo and you fill in around them, which is why a lot of people who really analyze Phoenix was like, they're trying to stick with the big three method, and that's not going to work in the new NBA with the finances as they are. So you're either going to have to do like the Celtics are doing, which they're paying crazy amounts of money for their roster, but they just won a title, so it makes sense. Remember, Golden State was doing that. It was finishing 9th or 10th in the West, which is why they had to make the drastic changes they did this offseason. I know you wanted to, I guess, go to my Celtics or whatever.
Well, I mean, I don't want to be rude to the chat, so let's answer some questions. So, play going to the math. This is the first one. So E Breezy asked, "What's your opinion on Bronny getting drafted?" Oh my god! All right, so
that's your squad. You handle that one first.
No, I don't mind answering. So I like it. And I even said it. I think either your Discord or Brett's Discord that. I mean, I like the pickup. I mean, first of all, let's talk about the first pick. Connect. What a great pickup. Was a low-key player. And beginning of his career, got picked up. Went to Tennessee. He's basically a 6'5", 6'6", Wayne player. He can get to the hoop, shoot it from distance. That was a big pickup. But so we all know that the 55th pick was Bronny, and I like it. I mean, obviously we all knew that there was no surprise that LeBron. I mean, he said it multiple times that he wants to play with his son. Whenever that was,
he backed off of that.
Yeah, he backed off of it. Yeah, he backed off of it a little bit. But I don't know. I think that since that's we're kind of not off the charts good, but we had to factor in that, and this is not an excuse. And he really dealt with a heart injury where he probably was thinking about would he ever pick up basketball ever again? Because I mean, obviously, no matter how fit you are, if you're big, skinny, like you can have health issues, and kind of put the whole sports world on pause because obviously it's one of the it's LeBron's son, so everyone's going to be kind of curious as why. So he wasn't the same. But listen, I like the pick. I think I had it in Brett's Discord, the Guardi 3 Discord channel or server. I said that he's gonna play in the G League. I mean, like all draftees should do that. Really aren't, because I mean this draft overall, it was full of international players, which was good for the league. But I really didn't. There's no one that really like stood out to me. I like you said, like Edie went 9, very shocking. I mean DJ Burns went undrafted. This draft was kind of, I mean, not to be fair to any of the draftees, but this draft wasn't really like that eye popping. I mean, obviously Bronny was like the star, kind of like because obviously that's Bronny's son or LeBron's son. But there was really no. I mean, I did like the signing of Connect. I did watch him throughout his college years. I know who was a guard for Duke. He went to Philadelphia.
Jared McCain.
Jared McCain, yeah. But I mean, you can say this for any draft player in this draft. Like, are they NBA ready right now? Obviously, like Bronny's like 6'1", 6'2". But I mean, he has the best. I mean, arguably one of the best, like Mount Rushmore players. Like he's on the Mount Rushmore, or he's on my Mount Rushmore, in his corner as a dad, and as now going to be a player. And then you have and then they signed Redick. I mean, obviously he doesn't have any coaching skill or coaching hardware yet or anything. But you have probably one of the greatest basketball minds ever. You know, shoot like one of the greatest shooters. As a coach,
Greatest basketball mind is a big ask of JJ Redick.
I mean,
I do think he's a good basketball mind.
It's arguable. I mean, yeah, he doesn't have any. I mean, we said the same thing about Steve Nash coming as a coach. Like he can play the game, but I know as far as playing again in the coaching game is different. But I mean, he's still very highly knowledgeable about basketball. So you have two great mentors in your corner. Yes, I don't think he's off the bat NBA ready. I know Wojnarowski said that. I think the first week they're gonna get that little moment of Bronny and LeBron playing, and then he's gonna go straight to the G League, and I'm fine with that. But to be fair to the whole NBA draft, this draft are any of these? I mean, some players are NBA ready. That went like the lottery picks, but because they're going to be asked to play because Detroit and all these below bottom of the barrel teams, they're going to need these players to play off the bat. Mm-hmm. Now with the Lakers, you can have some wiggle room because you can have players go to the G League and then progress because they have Bronny, they have AD, they have Russell back, they have Maria, so that line is already going to be set. But these teams, can you ask that for every player in this draft class? Like, are they NBA ready? Because I mean, nobody really stood out in this draft class. I mean, obviously number one. I didn't even know. No disrespect to him. I never seen him play. I mean, obviously he's an international player from France. Obviously, European leagues, they're tough. Luka came from that league. But I don't want to throw no shade to any of the players, but I mean, can you say 100% all of the players are NBA ready right now? Probably not. So
I mean that's kind of the point of the draft. You're picking based off of prospect, you're picking based off of development, all that. I completely get that.
Yeah, and Bronny, I mean, like I said, he has the best mentor in his corner, and one of the best, and possibly one of the in JJ Redick in this corner. I think with any player in this draft, it's development. I mean, that's with any draft prospect. It's development. You're gonna learn your game. You're gonna get better. Obviously, from high school to college to NBA is different speeds. I mean, that's why there's 5,000 players minimum that are in the league today that make the NBA. Only 1% of that 5,000 get to start in the starting lineup or play a game or see the court. I mean, yeah, it's probably one of next to baseball, and you can say football too because it's a hard hitting sport. I mean, it's probably one of the hardest. I think baseball is the more harder sport to get drafted to and make a team because the farm system and like the AAA, AA, AAA, whatever. But I think NBA is probably because you have to be able to score. You have to be able to be fast. You have to be able to think, have IQ. That's why, I mean, they don't just pick the average Joe off the street and say you're in the NBA. I mean, Bronny, I think he can develop. I'm not going to say he can be like, a Tatum or a Brown, first championship in the first year or 2 years. No, I think that he can develop into that. I feel like he can grow into that. I feel like it's going to take time. But I like the pickup. I mean, and he's done some good things in college, even with the heart thing that happened to me. He's done a couple good things. I mean, yeah, his stats don't line up and stuff like that, but I just don't get the whole nepotism argument. Obviously, yeah, it's Bronny's son, and I know Rich Paul said, if you don't draft if draft him, you're going to Australia. I get that, but it's like.
See, that's two very big reasons why you're hearing it.
But it's like
that's why. Rich Paul did not help this in any way.
To be honest, didn't your team pick before? They could have drafted Bronny.
Why would a team draft him and deal with the Rich Paul LeBron circus? Why waste your time with it? once that came out, I was like, there's not a chance in the world anybody else takes him other than the Lakers. So it was going to happen. I mean, look, the Bronny stuff, my biggest issue, Rich Paul, the coverage, the expectation that Bronny cannot grace the G League with his presence because that's like beneath him or something. They just gave him a 4-year deal as a second-round pick with the expectation that he's going to be on the 15-man roster. So he's probably going to be sitting on the end of the bench for a lot of games, whatever.
Well, Woj said that today that he said that he's going to, obviously the first week of the season, he's going to play with LeBron and go down.
I will believe that when I see it. That's what they're going to do.
I mean,
that's
I trust
what they
Adrian
should do.
Wojnarowski. Like, I mean, I trust him.
He's been wrong before. It's okay. It's okay. But
I mean, when have they been drastically wrong?
I don't know his whole record. I know I've seen some stuff from him, and it doesn't. I mean, he can't be 100% because
stop hating on Woj, man.
Look, when you're in the business of Woj and Schefter and those guys, you're not going to be 100% right because your sources can fumble.
I mean, yeah, they can change. I mean, that's the name of sport.
I'm not even questioning Woj on that. I just wonder, will the Lakers do that? Let's just say, if LeBron goes, no, my son is staying with the team, will they say, we're sending him to the G League for development? And that's another thing. Since when are the Lakers about developing young players? Go ask Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma.
Didn't they develop any of those? Didn't they do that? Austin Reeves, he didn't start right away. And then now look at him. He's in the starting 5.
He had a down year last year.
No, well, I'm saying as far as like, getting drafted, whatever, and
because at a certain point you got to put 5 guys out on the court.
No, but I'm saying like he started like in the G League for a couple games and then he just got better and
he's not Bronny though. That's what I'm saying. Because
I'm saying like he was still a prospect.
Now they draft Bronny, and now the message from the Lakers is we're in the youth player development era of the Lakers. Since when?
Well, I mean, you can't really compare Bronny to Ingram because like Ingram was the top pick.
Ingram was a better prospect than Bronny. They didn't want to develop him. LeBron gets there, ships him out right away.
But why need? But I'm saying why does it need to develop Tate or not Tatum? Because I wanted Tatum so bad. Why we just love the ball, man? Why? I said Tatum.
Go ask Magic Johnson. Go ask Magic Johnson why you did.
Nah, Tatum. I like. Man, that's my guy there, Duke brother. But I mean, Ingram, he didn't really need any development, man. I mean, yeah, he needed some muscle because he was undersized. He was skinny coming to the league, and now he got a little big boner, a little muscular. But other than that, I mean, they said all they said they needed him to do was eat more, gain weight, get the arms bigger.
They shipped him out the minute LeBron got there because LeBron is not about youth. LeBron is all about get me veterans because I need to win now.
So
do you think? Well, hold on. Do you think there's any chance we hear Bronny in trade talks next year at all?
Bronny, can you get? Did they have he has a trade clause right in this contract?
I mean, he's a second-round pick. You don't get no trade clauses as a second-round pick. So do you think we'll ever hear any trade rumor involving Bronny next year?
I don't
Not
know.
a chance.
I don't think so.
Not a chance.
No.
Okay, but LeBron gets there a couple of weeks in. Ingram's on the block, Kuzma's on the block, Ball's on the block. Like everybody was. But
Ball, Ball, I know he drafted him, but he was like he got injured. But I'm still mad that why we wasted that pick on him. I don't know why.
Because Magic Johnson was calling the shots. Magic Johnson sat home in his TV and saw LeVar Ball everywhere. It was like, oh, we could bring that celebrity into LA. Yeah, let's go get him. That's why they took him. He was never the best point guard because De'Aaron Fox was in that draft, who was better than Lonzo Ball. But we didn't see De'Aaron Fox's dad on TV every week. That's why they didn't take him.
Well, what pick did he get picked? Like 5th or something like that? Fox?
Yeah.
4th or 5th? I think we were pick 17 that year.
What? The Tatum year?
I think we were Lakers were pick 17. I think that year.
You're talking about the Tatum year?
Yeah, the Tatum year when we.
No, you had the second pick.
Tatum the Lakers were.
Yeah.
Oh shoot! Yeah, that was okay. That was a while back.
The 2 years of Tatum and Brown, the same 3 teams picked 1, 2, and 3: Philly, Lakers, and the Celtics.
Okay.
I mean, Philly had their own issues with Markelle Fultz, but I kind of understood that. Markelle Fultz at Washington was a beast.
Yeah, I don't know.
Philly, and I don't know what happened to him.
I don't know if who's brutally on it. Isn't that Aaron? Yeah. I don't know if he's like that's a good point. Like, I think Bronny's gonna be a lot better than Lonzo Ball when he was
that for sure.
When he was a Laker.
If I looked at the 2 prospects of Lonzo and Bronny, I crap on Lonzo any chance I can. Lonzo's a better prospect than Bronny was. Lonzo came into the league as a 3-point shooter and a good defender. What is Bronny good at? Let me know.
He's good at shooting and
no, he's not. If he was, he wouldn't have averaged 4 points a game in college on a USC team.
See what he did but he did do at the combine, like 19 made threes, NBA level.
He did at the combine. Okay. How many guys are great at the combine? They get to an actual team and you never hear from them again. I'm not putting any stock into the combine. Now, Summer League, I will be watching to see what he does in the Summer League because we already know ESPN's gonna, make all this about every Laker game that they have on TV. I'm gonna watch them and see how he does. I don't even put a lot of stock into the Summer League, but at least the Summer League, he's playing against other guys who were drafted and guys who are trying to make a name for themselves. I want to see how he does there.
Because
what I've seen from him. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Like isn't that coming up, right? Like 2 weeks?
Yeah, it starts the 12th, I believe.
Yeah, I'm definitely tuning in.
Yeah, and I want to see what the jump shot looks like. I've seen a little video of him working out by himself, dunking and shooting threes. Yeah, you know who else does that? Ben Simmons.
But let me ask you that, as a Celtics fan, how you like the Bronny? Like, what's your view on the Bronny? Like, Bronny get drafted? What are your?
I don't have an issue drafting him at 55. You're almost at the end of the draft. You're taking a flyer on him. I don't care. Knock yourself out. The whole LeBron Bronny playing together. Sure, it's a cool story.
You don't mean that.
I mean, it's a cool story. Whatever. I mean, I'm not gonna sit there every day like, I wonder what Bronny and LeBron did tonight. I don't care. Whatever. It's a good story now. But the way that he, as the 55th pick, we know more about him than every other draft pick for whatever reason. Like you just said, Risa Shea, Sarr, you know nothing about. We knew for a while Sarr was going to be a top pick, yet nobody wanted to cover him on ESPN or whatever. But they were ready to cover Bronny. Where's Bronny going to go? Could he go 17th? Like, who really thought he was going to be a first-round pick? Nobody. But they kept floating it out there like it was an option. Then it was, could a team, jump ahead of the Lakers and take him? Well, based off of Rich Paul and the way he's been acting, that's never been on the table because Bronny was going to flee to Australia if he didn't get what LeBron wanted and go to LA. So, give me a break with all that. Is that really the Bronny thing?
As an agent,
the Bill Simmons floated out, what if the Celtics took him the pick before just to hold him hostage? And part of me, the sadistic part of me was like, yeah, you know what? Do it. Make LeBron sweat over in LA with his son in Boston, the city that, he can't stand, and see how that goes. But I'm fine with him getting drafted. I think we need to pump the brakes on acting like he's this, can't miss prospect. Like he should spend most of next season in the G League. I don't need to see him with the Lakers once the season starts. Sorry. He's going to be there, like you said, because opening night or opening week, when the NBA makes a big deal of it, the Lakers will be on TV, and then that coverage is just going to be Bronny and LeBron. Reggie Miller will probably be on the broadcast drooling over it. I'm going to put it on mute, and I'll watch the game. Then after that, if he disappears into the background in the G League, fine. I just don't need it to be something that overshadows the actual season once it starts.
So I mean, us being basketball fans and fanatics, when do you think Bronny will be ready? I mean, do you think after 1 year, 2 years?
Jeez. Well, let's see. I mean, he's not.
Or do you think
he's not the 6'4" he was listed at USC? Because I was thinking if he was 6'4", maybe he's a 2 guard, whatever. You're 6'1", you got to be a point guard. So looking at the Lakers roster, is he better than D'Angelo Russell? No. Is he better than Gabe Vincent? And Gabe Vincent's been a ghost, but no. I think you're looking at probably should be 2 years of development, because I know E. Breezy put he should have stayed in college. Yes, the way it should have gone was Bronny should be. I mean, he's going to enter the transfer portal, but he should have been playing college ball this year, go into the draft next year, spend next year in the G League, and then probably his second season. Now you can start asking, like, where does he fit in with the Lakers? I feel like it's 2 years of development that he really needs before he could even contribute regularly with the Lakers. Because I don't know what he is. Like, is he going to be like Patrick Beverley, a really good point guard defender? I don't know. And the shot, you hopefully, with practice and everything, it comes along. Or is he I don't know, like a Rondo type where he's really good at facilitating and moving the ball. He can maybe hit the occasional jump shot. Like, I don't know what Bronny is. That's why the USC season, which I know he had the heart condition, but we didn't learn a thing about him. Most games he was just standing around with action happening around him. He'd get a bucket or two, and that was it. I don't know how you build a draft profile on a guy like that to confidently think he's going to be anything better than like the 55th pick. Most years, 55th pick are like G League. That's where they end up. That's where they stay. I don't think he's like that, but it's fascinating and kind of nauseating at the same time, because I'm listening to NBA radio. They're talking Bronny. I'm watching ESPN. They're talking Bronny. And I'm like, at least let him play a couple of games in the summer league or something before we just go all in on him. So I feel like he can be an NBA player. I don't think he'll ever be a superstar. I don't think he'll ever be a star. I think he'll be a bench rotation guy.
Are you saying that throughout his entire NBA career, or just like right now?
Based off what I've seen and how I feel like he will develop, I think he's a bench rotation guy, like a backup point.
I mean, more people hating. Well, I know Markelle Fultz was like a high, like he was very, highly.
Markelle Fultz was averaging like 30 at Washington.
But when his first couple years in the NBA, he was
because he completely changed
he had
whatever reason.
I know he had an injury too.
He had a shoulder injury, and it completely changed his shot. That's what happened to him. But at college, he was a legit scorer, so we knew that was his skill set. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what Bronny's skill set is.
I mean, I would think. I
would say his floor is like backup point. His ceiling, spot starting point guard, like a guy like I'm trying to think of an equivalent, like a Tyus Jones. Like Tyus Jones is like a backup, but if you needed him for a few games to start, like he knows what he's doing, you're comfortable with him. That might be Bronny's ceiling right there. And Tyus Jones isn't a star. He's not a superstar. but he's a guy who can make plays, and if he's on your team, you know what you're getting from him. That might be Bronny's ceiling. It's not a bad living, but I'm just saying.
I feel like he but like I mean I'm not even like disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that like I mean can you name any player in this draft that can be a star or a starter or an all-star in this draft class? I mean it's kind of unknown.
I mean, I could put my finger at a couple of guys who could be an all-star level player. I mean, to be honest with you,
No.
Connect could be a guy that if he made an all-star team, I wouldn't be surprised. If Klingon made an all-star team, I wouldn't be surprised. It's kind of tough with the international players, so I don't really know them like that. But I have like kind of checked out some of them since they've been drafted.
I know what's that dude? Dillingham. He's nice.
Yeah,
he's gonna be a star.
Yeah, there's some guys like there's some guys if they made an all-star team, I would not be surprised. Sitting here right now, if Bronny made an all-star team within 7 years of his career, I'd probably be shocked.
That's interesting.
And look, that's not to say like I'm rooting for him to fail or anything. I've been one of those who's like, I would love to see him in like an Orlando situation or something like that, a place where he could kind of like carve out his own path without as big of a spotlight as there's going to be playing alongside LeBron. But now that he's in LA, I mean, from what people say about him, like he's a good kid and everything, I feel like it's not going to overwhelm him necessarily. But I do think because of it, some fans are going to have like an overinflated sense of what he is. And I feel like they're the ones who might make it a bit tough on LeBron. I mean, on Bronny. And probably LeBron too, because there are going to be some fans, if Bronny struggles, who will really push the nepotism stuff even more. Because we're already seeing people coming at Rob Pelinka already because of the Bronny draft and their inability in terms of free agency to get the players that supposedly LeBron was taking a cut to get, like Klay Thompson. But then again, your offer was D'Angelo Russell. If I'm Golden State, I laugh at you and then I hang up. That wouldn't have gotten it done with me either. Because Perkins brought up an interesting point. If the Lakers were serious about Klay Thompson, they probably would have had to offer Reeves. And obviously, the Lakers weren't ready to do that.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I mean, the free agency has been kind of wild. I mean, I know Josh Giddey went to the Chicago. Caruso went to the Thunder. Chris Paul went to the Spurs.
I like that.
It was interesting. Chris Paul and Popovich, but I wish we would have saw them, Chris Paul in his prime and Pop in his prime. That would have been cool to see. But I mean, obviously, having one of the greatest basketball coaches ever, probably in the NBA, or arguably one of the best coaches. And then probably had one of the greatest point guards of his class, as a player and as a coach, as in Pop, that's gonna be, and then with Wemby. I mean, I don't know what the Spurs are doing. I mean, I don't think they're really in. I don't think they're in playoff playing mode. I think they just want to, develop Wemby.
Because you just said you don't know what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. They had no point guard who could get Wemby the ball last year. You just brought in Chris Paul, who's a pretty good court general. So you figure with Chris Paul out there, he'll be able to get Wemby easier shots. He'll be able to get Wemby the ball in his spots, which should help Wemby's development. Because that whole Sochan or whatever how you pronounce it, running point, that got old real quick because that dude did not know what he was doing running that offense.
Yeah.
with Chris Paul, you're set. So I get what they're doing. It's only a 1-year deal anyway. He'll probably be involved in a bunch of rumors at the trade deadline anyway, because they did draft Castle, so Chris Paul can show Castle how to play the point guard position as well.
Right. Yeah. There's anything else to talk about in the chat? I mean, I know Aaron had a question: would you start a team with Lamar or Luck? But that was like NFL. What was it? But no, I think he said in parentheses if Andrew Luck didn't retire.
Andrew Luck was a pretty good quarterback. Terrible organization he went to, but he was a good quarterback.
So, I mean, who would you build your team around?
You already know how I feel about Lamar throwing the ball. I would take Andrew Luck.
I guess as far I guess that doesn't matter. Boy, yet I think as far like you're not factoring like the players that can make Lamar better. Like
I'm factoring in.
It's like you're building a team around him.
Yeah, I need my quarterback to make throws eventually. Lamar can run. Yeah, he can run.
He can make. Oh, here we go.
Yes, he can make throws over the middle to Mark Andrews. He can make throws along the line of scrimmage to Odell Beckham and all those little cute wide receiver screens. How'd that Chiefs game go when he had to make throws downfield constantly? How'd that go? All right.
Well, in the beginning, he had that play to Zay Flowers with that deep ball.
Hey, that was one. All right, name another one.
I mean, he has had some throughout the season.
I said the Chiefs game. Name one.
Right.
That's a good point.
He didn't, which is why he retired.
Yeah, Andrew Luck was running for his life behind an offensive line and throwing to guys that weren't. Yeah, they didn't know what to do with. I mean, look, I understood why the Colts did it to get Andrew Luck, and then they got him, and it was like, oh, he'll figure it out. He'll make whatever work that we bring in here, and it's like, no, you had to get better. But yeah, I would take Andrew Luck. I know you would take Lamar because you're a Ravens fan. Whatever.
I mean, I could probably make a team with that Lamar and.
Okay, there's been a couple of years they've tried to make a team with them.
No. What I'm saying as far as just like the fantasy, like I think that's what Aaron was mean. Like, who would you build a team around? Like,
yeah, Andrew Luck. I need a guy who could make plays with his arm.
I mean,
most of Lamar's plays are with his legs.
Yeah. I mean, he's a dual threat.
1.5 threat.
How about
the Chiefs game showed you he's a 1.5 threat.
Patriots, brother?
Okay, the Patriots are bad. The Patriots have a guy who can throw the ball. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So did we miss anything in the chat? Anything major? Oh, thank
you. I mean, we went from Bronny to Jory being over it as a Laker fan, and I'm sure there's a lot of Laker fans who agree with her. They're probably over the Bronny stuff.
Yeah. So, Kyle, do you have any final thoughts?
No, not really. I mean, other than, like I said, I am ready for this NFL season to start. The Jets are a mess. I'm sleeping well at night because of it. I'm intrigued by Drake May and the wide receivers that they picked up. I think a couple of those guys are going to surprise some people. The wins probably won't be there this year. They'll probably be like a 6-7 win team. But I'm also not one of those crazy Patriots fans that are like wishing for the good old days of Brady. I'm fine with this kind of lull in their success because I see a direction now. So I'm fine with it. Seeing the team kind of grow together. I mean, well, you could talk the Malik Hooker stuff with the Cowboys because now people are losing their mind over that. Where he like Keyshawn Johnson asked him about the Cowboys and the guys they need to sign, and he said Micah Parsons he would sign last. Micah Parsons got butt hurt over that, and now people are saying Malik Hooker was wrong to say that on a podcast, which yes, he probably was. But was he lying though? Because you have to sign your star wide receiver, your star left tackle, and your quarterback. It's an offensive league. So my team will win more than 2 games. Yes, I. A lot of those people who were just putting out like the Titans going 2-15. That's kind of wild. Because to only win 2 games, like you have to have a lot of issues with your team. You have to have like locker room issues. You have to have a horrible coach, like all that. I would find it difficult to really see a team only winning 2 games anywhere in the NFL right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think I got the. We can go into like deep dive the division later on, like another show. But I think I think I have the Texans in that division, winning in that division.
Most do. That's. I mean, they were the team that went the furthest last year. Why
not pick no shade, Jory. I'm sorry about that. I mean, and then I think I would say, I mean, to get a little sneak peek, I think that Texans win will be 1 in that division. Then after that, I think it's like a toss up. I mean, I will say Jacksonville number 2, but then
you tease this a sneak peek, so I want to hear 1, 2, 3, 4. How do you have it?
All that division.
Mm-hmm.
So Texans number 1. It's hard to say because, like, I mean, Anthony Richardson is coming back.
Okay.
So that's a question mark, like how, and then I would have to say just to be safe, I would say Texans is number 2. Or I'm sorry, Jaguars number 2.
Okay.
Colts number 3 because I mean I feel I trust. I feel like I trust like Taylor because they have John Taylor right for running back.
Mm-hmm.
So I think 3, and then Titans I have 4 right now.
I think you're wild with that one.
You have Titans where number 1?
I don't see the Jags coming in second. I feel like
because it's hard for me to pick because like it's like the after the 1.
I think the way the Jags ended last season, I think there's serious issues in Jacksonville. I think there might be.
I would say Colts number 2.
I think the Colts finishing third. What do you like?
So
you know what Anthony Richardson is? I don't. I think the Colts basically next year is going to be Anthony Richardson's rookie season. So he's going to have some growing pains. That's perfectly okay. I think the Jags at best are 3rd in that division. I look, I could see if the Jags struggle early on, that bottoming out in ways that we aren't prepared for. So if I'm sitting here today, I think it's Texans 1. I'd go Titans 2, Jags 3, Colts 4th. And between the Colts and the Jags, I don't think the Colts are like a 4-win team or something. I think it's going to be really competitive between those two. I think you might have a little separation with the Titans, maybe like a game or so ahead of the Jag, like a game or 2 ahead of the Jags, and maybe like a game or 2 ahead of them might be the Texans. I'd have to like look at their schedules to really see win total wise, but if you're going to tell me that your biggest issue with the Titans is Will Levis, okay, it's his second season, whatever. but you can't argue with what they've done around him. And as somebody who watched the Mac Jones experience where Bill Belichick and the Patriots didn't do the best for Mac Jones, I feel like for Will Levis, you can't ask the Titans to do much more than they did. Yes, they don't have Derrick Henry, who was, like your singular running back you knew was back there 30, 35 times a game. You could hand it off to him and he could give you production. They decided to take that production and go Spears, Pollard. You have two guys who can affect the game in the passing game as well as the running game. For Will Levis, he'll love that. Oh, they also went out and got that guy Calvin Ridley, who Trevor Lawrence had last season, and they went on with that 6-game losing streak to end the season. You don't think Ridley might be really motivated to show Jacksonville what they're missing out on? Yeah. And that's with DeAndre Hopkins still there. So if you're Will Levis and you're going into the season, you're like, okay, so now it's on me to take the jump in my second year, and I have guys that I could just throw it to and they'll make plays for me. So I feel like they, right now, are the second best team in the AFC South. Like I said, I think the Jags are going to keep sliding down that slope. There is something missing in Jacksonville. I'm not really sure what it is necessarily. Like Trevor Lawrence throws kind of big interceptions when you don't need them. He's got to clean that up. Their offensive line was a big problem at the end of last season. They got to fix that. And their wide receivers. Like they drafted Brian Thomas. We don't know what he's going to look like as a rookie, but as rookie wide receivers can be productive. It's not that difficult to translate from college to the pros. But I mean, Christian Kirk is still like your top wide receiver. He's coming off of an injury season. So I have more faith in Tennessee right now than Jacksonville.
You bring up some good points with Tennessee. I mean, it's hard for me to pick after the Texans because there's so many question marks. Like you said, Jacksonville looked kind of sketchy towards the end of the year last year. Lawrence's inability to like you said, make big throws. Got picked off a lot. And then Will Levis. We really haven't seen much of him because obviously Ryan Tannehill was starting quarterback. So, I think, but like you said, he has the talent around him. Let's see how they do without Derrick Henry on the team because like Derrick Henry was like kind of like the heart and soul of that offense because he was still like the running.
He was just the biggest name on the offense.
I still think that
it's a passing league.
A lot.
But it's also a passing league. Like you have to be able to throw the ball.
You can still pass the ball to Henry, not for a deep throw, but he's.
Yes, they used them in like the screen game. Yeah, I'm not taking that away from them. It's just like
it's gonna be different seeing him without Derrick Henry because they relied on him to get those first downs when they really needed him. It's gonna be different for sure. So it's a lot of question marks with those other teams, and there could be question marks with the Texans too, because can Stephon Diggs match well with Stroud? I have all the faith in the world in DeMeco Ryans, but how well will they start off the bat? They can start off kind of slow too because the chemistry and everything, but I feel like Texans are the clear cut favorite in that division because the other demons as well. But yeah, we'll dive into the NFL more. I can't wait. I don't want to tease the fans. But they got a little taste of, and like we said earlier, like the Hard Knocks are gonna be interesting to watch. I can't wait for that too. So you said they usually have one in the preseason and during the season, and then
they usually do a preseason team, and then recently they've been doing a mid-season team because I feel like they realize the success of Hard Knocks. I think a lot of people were like, what if they did one of a team in the middle of the season because you get kind of different storylines. If you keep doing preseason ones, it's always there's that camp guy who's going to get cut that I kind of root for. Let's see where he ends up. But now in the middle of the season, you get different aspects of it. I feel like they used I want to say like they used like the Cardinals and maybe like the Rams before or something like that. I can't remember, but in terms of Hard Knocks, I don't necessarily watch it like that, but I get what the NFL is doing. Like it's a lot of people like that kind of behind the scenes access to see how the players roll and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, the AFC North is gonna be interesting to see like Ravens, Bengals. Like that's gonna be interesting. Hard Knocks.
You may not like how I break that division down. Just saying.
Guess I have to because I have to wait for that in the next episode or in a couple episodes from now. Because I have to I have to do my research, make up my list. Make up my list.
See if you have the Ravens go 17-0 or 16-1.
I mean, what we're like 13-4 this season. So yes. I mean, that wasn't that far off. There's some game like what games did we? All right, I think we beat the Bengals twice. We lost. We split with the Browns. We got split by the Steelers. So we only really we lost to the Browns, Steelers twice. That's 3 losses. Who do you have to lose to? And then we smashed the Lions. We destroyed the Seahawks. We smashed the 49ers. I mean,
yes, we all know because they beat them.
I'm trying to say, well, they're 4th loss.
They beat the Niners, and you were already planning the parade for a Super Bowl title. We know. We all remember
that. Their 4th loss. I can't remember.
That's your squad, man. You should know.
I know. But and also we can look at the games. You know, the hockey matchup. I know Lamar and Hurts play for the first time. That's gonna be a good one. I think it's the M&T Bank. It's gonna be a good game.
Look, Ravens regular season.
I think
doesn't matter to me anymore.
Texans play the Ravens on Christmas Day, so we we can definitely line up talk about the matchup.
The Ravens season doesn't start until the postseason when they bow out and Ravens fans are scrambling, wondering what's going on. That's when the season starts. That's when I get invested in Ravens football.
Yeah. All right, Kyle. Well, it's been a good episode, man. Yeah, for real. It's been a good one.
Yeah.
We gotta get on more often. I gotta get more consistent with the shows and everything. So the more in the content, but it was definitely a good show. We had a lot of people in the chat. So we got 14 viewers right now currently. I think half of them are coming from my Twitter, 3 are on my YouTube, one's on my Twitch, and I think one's on your. I was like, it was kind of flip between your YouTube and my YouTube page. It's all good, man. I like the content. I like the flow. And yeah, let's game plan up for our next episode. What do you want to talk about? Like the different conferences and divisions, like when it gets closer to the season, or because it wouldn't be an early season prediction unless it's. I mean, that's no. So. I mean, we can probably do that.
Once, like I said, once you get to July, football really starts going in my head. So we can talk football whenever. I mean, you want to wait till like August when you get into preseason and all that? That's fine with me. I don't care.
Yeah, because I got to make my annual like QB list and then running back list.
We all know how that's gonna go. We all know. Mahomes are 1A, 1B.
Maybe you don't know, man. Maybe I changed on y'all, man.
Yeah, Lamar 1, Mahomes 2. Yeah, we know. We know.
All right, Kyle. So, like, how much you going, man? We'll definitely chop it up and after the show and see how we can game plan for the next episode. But yeah, with that being said, this was the latest installment of the JJL Sports Talk Show. I'm your host, Jean Louis, and then I got my boy Kyle Edwards, like always consistent, man. So yeah. With that being said, we are out.
All right, see you guys.